Once we know exactly where it is, when we get really honest with ourselves as to where it is that we are right now, we can then get really honest with ourselves as to where it is that we want to go.
Hi, my name is Pernilla, and this is my Challenge Your Norm podcast. I'm absolutely obsessed with anything related to personal development. And well, to grow, we got to challenge our norm. And so on this podcast, we chat about life and how we can challenge our normal way of living it to make it greater than we could have ever imagined. Just one little belief, habit, bold move, and perspective at a time.
Hello, my beautiful friend, and welcome back to another episode here on my Challenge Your Norm podcast. It has been a while, and I am going to explain why that is. But first, I just want to jump straight into today's topic because we are about to do a yearly reset, a half-year reset, and remind ourselves of what it is that we actually want in our life, recommit, motivate ourselves as to why it's so important and necessary that we actually go about doing so, that we put in the work, that we keep practicing, believing in ourselves, and keeping this high spirit regardless of the obstacles and the challenges that are coming our way, and why these obstacles and challenges are actually just an incredible gift for us as we go about achieving these things that we want in our life. Not because we're going to become happier by achieving them, but because the journey of getting there is so incredibly fulfilling. And I have, in my life, just recently gotten this re-sparked motivation, excitement for new goals that I want to be striving towards. And I want to share with you 5 different tools, tricks, habits, practices that hopefully you'd want to apply into your life if you don't already, or maybe you just needed to be reminded of a few things that are going to get you re-hyped for your future and the things that you want in your life. And I want to start off with this saying that we all know about: when we do the things we've always done, we're going to get the same results. If we do new things, then we can get new results. And the reason I'm bringing that up as the first thing is because if you watch my YouTube video, you know that I did a video where I let AI control my life for 100 hours. And during those 100 hours, I asked AI to give me the world's hardest workouts. And so I went about doing those, and they were so different to what I normally do when I work out. And it really excited me to do things that I don't normally do, because I would typically tell myself that those exercises that AI made me do would not benefit my progress, my growth. But the beautiful thing is that when we do something new is that oftentimes the things that we're telling ourselves in our minds are not always true. And we will continue to make ourselves believe that we are right until we've tried the new thing. And oftentimes, obviously, we'll try the new thing and it's not what we want. It doesn't work, but maybe we tried 10 new things, and then one of the 10 new things that we tried, one of those really stuck with us, and they helped push us to become better within some area of our life that we wanted to become better. And I'm going to talk a lot about fitness during this podcast, but really all of these tools, practices can be applied to any area of your life. It does not have to be fitness. I just think fitness is something most people can relate to. It's something that's really challenging. It's hard, so incredibly fulfilling and compound effect in beautiful ways in all other areas of our life. That's just the examples I'm going to be speaking mostly about, but it really can be related to your family life or work or whatever goals you have outside of movement and exercising and physical goals. So tip number 1 is try something different. That may look like letting AI control your life, like I did in that YouTube video. It could also be just purchasing a new workout program. And there's so many incredible workout programs out there. Maybe you have an influencer who has put out a program that you want to try out, or you have purchased one in the past that you could recommit to doing. I actually just recently put out a new workout program, which is also why in the first place I took a break from putting out podcasts, because I was just so head down focused on developing the best possible workout program that I could. And so on top of all the other content that I was creating and work I had to do, and my editor left during that time, so that's why I kind of took a break with the podcasting for a little while as I kind of got back on track with all my other work. But yes, I did put out a really incredible workout program. I'm really proud of it. That includes both nutrition, workout, and a ton of self-development tools, 60-day journaling challenge, and just a bunch of things. I'll put the link in the show notes if it's something you want to check out, but it does not have to be my workout program. Maybe the things that I'm working towards and the focus that I have in the workout program that I've put out is not in alignment with the goals that you want to achieve. And so it's just really important that you find some sort of new inspiration, motivation kind of workflow that can push you to the next level. And that's going to look so different for everyone, but just it could also just be incorporating one new movement into your workout. It could be going for 1 5-minute walk a day. It does not have to be big, but just doing something new, I think, can really help us find a new level of motivation and inspiration. The second thing that I gotta share with you that really kicked my ass last week was, I don't know how much I should go into detail on this, but you know what? We're besties on this podcast, so I might as well just share the entire truth, which is, if you've watched my YouTube channel, you know that I've been talking about a gym crush, someone who like works out in my gym that I've been hanging out with a bit. And we have been hanging out, and he is also a personal trainer, but on a much higher level than I am. I work out because it helps me feel incredible. I'm passionate about helping other people get in shape because that has just completely changed my life to the better, and I want to help other people experience that as well. But my gym crush, we're just going to keep calling him my gym crush. He's very passionate about the whole science behind it, about the whole technique behind it, and like, let's just say he knows what he's doing. And so he'd been complimenting me like throughout, like whatever he'd seen at the gym and stuff. But then the other day, as I was doing split squats, Bulgarian split squats, he came over and asked me, do you want to hear the truth or do you want the packaged version? And basically, of course, I wanted the entire truth. I feel like I can always take the entire truth. He was like, your form is terrible. And so he fixed my form. What that did was that my split squat with those weights became 10 times harder. He then gave me some other exercises that I could be doing, and after having told him what my goals are. And my entire leg day has become 10 times harder. And the whole reason that I'm sharing this with you is because we all know this saying of like, surround yourself with someone who's better than you and you're gonna have to level up. And I will say, regardless of whether that's been throughout my dancing career, if I've gotten in a room with someone who's been a lot better than me, I have just leveled the frick up, because as long as I was maybe one of the best dancers in Denmark in the room, then I would feel comfortable. I would feel confident with everything that I had. When I then moved to Copenhagen, I had to level up because I got in a room with dancers that were a lot better than me. When I then moved to Los Angeles, it was the same thing. I had gotten really good in Copenhagen. I moved to Los Angeles. I realized I suck once again. And it's like every time I've gotten into a room with someone who's better than me, this level of comfort, it leaves. And there's this new thrill, excitement of needing to get to this next level, to feel inspired by these humans that I now get to be surrounded by. And there is just this beautiful thing about when we are in a room with one person or many people that are on a little bit of a higher level than us, we will improve ourselves, because we're going to want to, we first of all see and experience what is possible, where when we were in a room where we were the best, then, you know, we think that there's not really that much further we can go. But once we realize that there's so much more that we can do to better ourselves, it lights a fire up in our butt. And so I've really gotten lit up in my butt with this new workout program, with these new tips, realizing that, oh my gosh, this field, fitness, that I thought I was so incredible at, I have a ton of work to do. And I am realizing that I set a goal that certain muscle groups that I wanted to grow. And I've seen some results, but I haven't seen the massive, incredible results that I wanted to. And I'm realizing now why. And I've now understood what it would take for me to get there. And it's just so incredible when we decide to let our guards down and take in constructive criticism, which is what I did in my dance career. It's what I've done with, for example, doing YouTube and getting in a room with people who are on a much higher level than I am, learning all the techniques that you need to create better storytelling or better packaging when you put out a YouTube video. And or now with him giving his insights on what I possibly could do to get to this next level of what I want to get to within my fitness goals. So, second tip, find someone or a group of people that are on a higher level than you within that area that you want to grow within, and open yourself up to constructive feedback. Or maybe even just being in a room will be enough for you to understand how much further you can go, how much further you can push yourself. And for me, it's so exciting. Whenever I feel stagnant, I'm just not as happy. Whenever I feel like I can vision a future that has made me get to that next level of where it is that I am today, when I can see a next level and I can see a path or the actions that I would need to get there, it fills my soul with so much excitement. And I really feel like every time I've gotten to be with someone who has a different level of expertise, it does that to me. So yeah, see if you can find a group or a person or someone who you could ask advice or just connect with so that they can help you push to that next level within the thing that you want. The third tool / practice that I want to chat with you about is something that I have mentioned in previous episodes. If you've listened to those episodes, you know that my friend Alessandra moved in with me for 3 months. She lived in what I now, again, have as my podcast studio. If you're watching this on video, you can see me sitting in here. And I also use it as my office. But she lived with me for 3 months, and we started doing this thing where in the living room, the TV usually is put up. I don't have a TV. I don't want to have a TV because I feel like it would be very easy for me to get into the habit of watching TV. And I have, with a previous partner, gotten into that habit, and it never felt very good for me because I would much rather, even if I do want to shut my brain off, watch YouTube videos because that is more educational for me, or just read books, which I'm going to read more books if I don't have a TV that's tempting me. But the whole point of me sharing this is that my friend Alessandra and I, we did this thing where every month we would write down our goals and then we put it up by where the TV was supposed to go. And every morning we got up at different times, but every morning we would both do our morning routine, which if you're new to this podcast, my morning routine is meditation, journaling, and sometimes angel cards, also a cold shower usually. But that goes on and off with how much I do that. But I've been doing that a lot lately. But then this third tip, tool, practice that I feel has been so just really feeling good within has been that every morning I have, right before my meditation, read out loud or in my head the goals that I've put on the wall where the TV was supposed to have been. I've written it as if it is something that I currently have in my life. I think that's very important when we write goals. It's like I have, or I am, or I feel. So it's very present so that I feel that that is something that is already in my existence. And I read out those goals, and I sometimes will close my eyes after reading every single one of them. Right now I have 5. Previously I've had 6 goals, all surrounding different areas of my life. And I've read it out, I've visualized it, and just that gratitude for having that in my life, just the gratitude of experiencing that here and now, it just feels so good. And I believe that it subconsciously makes me take certain action throughout the day, but it also has some sort of magic to it where things come into existence. Since we started doing this, so many things have manifested. It's actually absolutely crazy. if you right now just take a piece of paper, write down the goals that you have, put it up on your wall, read it every day, and just spend maybe a few minutes closing your eyes and visualizing it and having gratitude for it, believing that you're already living it. It's really exciting. For me, at least, it's so exciting, and I highly recommend you give it a try because it's beautiful. Oh, it's so beautiful. The fourth tip is a very simple one, but something that I have had to get reminded of. I mean, since I started becoming aware of the fact that I make up excuses all the time, which has been like a 10-year journey. And that is just reminding myself how good I'm going to feel if I just go do the thing. And again, we can give the example of working out. If we just get our ass up and go to the gym, we will never regret having gone. Like it's never going to not feel good that we went. Unless we've been going hard for a full week straight and our body is tired and we're supposed to take a rest day. Of course, on those days, we are supposed to take a rest day, and going to the gym may actually hurt us more than make us better. So that's a question we do have to be honest with ourselves about. But we also know when it is that we're kind of making up excuses. And just this reminder of just do it. You're going to feel amazing afterwards. But not just with fitness. I've talked about this so much on this podcast, but how much procrastination really just makes us suffer more because we're going to be walking around thinking about doing the thing rather than just getting it done. And if this is something that you do, I do it as well. And it's just like this constant reminder of just getting it done, whether it's a work task, calling your grandparents, or cleaning your house, or going to the gym. It's just getting it done. Just getting into this habit of just getting it done is always going to feel so much better within. And sometimes we just need this reminder. So here is your reminder to just constantly remind yourself to get it done. Just go do it. Now I'm going to split the fifth one in two because I realized that there's two things I want to share with you. So we can call it a fifth or sixth, or we can split it into two. But first thing that I hope, if you have not yet done, is set a very, very specific goal. I recently got a body scan. So I got my muscle mass, my body fat percentage, bone density. It was really cool, just to be aware of what my numbers are. And what that really did is that it got me to know my starting point. And from knowing where I'm at right now, I could then set really clear goals as to where it is that I want to get to within my fitness. It's the same, obviously, with any work goal or relationship goal or anything in life, that once we know exactly where it is, when we get really honest with ourselves as to where it is that we are right now, we can then get really honest with ourselves as to where it is that we want to go. And so I've now set a very clear fitness goal. I've set date, numbers, everything is set in place. And so because I have that so clearly written down, there's no way that I'm not going to do it. Usually for people, I think when we're that specific, we have a date. I've shaken my hands with someone on the fact that I'm going to stay consistent with working towards this. The chances of me actually achieving it are so much higher. So I'm just sharing this so that you remind yourself that if you are kind of not too specific, clear, your date isn't set, you haven't maybe found an accountability partner, or you haven't found the specific numbers, that you just sit with yourself for a moment right now and get really clear on that. And now the second part of this fifth tool is, in order for you to go about doing that, of course you've set an action plan, right? We already know to do. If you've listened to my other podcast episodes, I talk about this all the time. So we're not going to go into depth on this. You can go back and listen to my other podcast episodes. It's typically my solo episodes where I go into depth on this. So you already know having that action plan. But then something that maybe something to consider is there something in your life that you may have to let go of for a little while as you go about going for this new thing? Not necessarily new, as you go about doing this thing that you maybe have neglected or you haven't been as focused on. Is there something that you have to let go of so that you have more space for this new thing. And it can be as simple as watching Netflix at night. It could also be, pausing on a work project. For example, as I was working on my workout program, I was very committed to working on specific YouTube videos in order for me to make them better. I really wanted to level up my YouTube content because, as you know, if you've listened to me, YouTube is something that I am so passionate about, and I just have this inner gut feeling that I'm meant to be doing that. I'm meant to reach a wide audience so that I hopefully can help inspire them to live better lives. And so for a little while, I had to take a few weeks off this podcast, and I had to accept the fact that that was what I needed to do in order for me to put more focus into these other areas. That doesn't mean that my podcast is going anywhere. I love my podcast. I love chatting with you guys, but sometimes we have to prioritize certain things in order for us to have space for other things that in this little time in our life is the most important to complete in the best way possible. Get clear on where it is that you need to prioritize your focus and if there is something that you need to let go of. And in my workout program, I also, as I mentioned, I have the self-development tools and this journaling challenge. And I really think that these journaling questions that I put together, if this is something you want to dig deeper within, that they are going to be useful for anyone going through them. At least they have been for me, because I've put together all my absolute favorite questions that I ask myself every single morning in order for me to let go of excuses and hopefully continuously level up and catch myself when I have slipped out of the things that I know long term are going to bring me the most joy and fulfillment. I want to sum up what we talked about today. Maybe as you leave listening to this podcast, you can actually go take action on one of the things, because this podcast is called Challenge Your Norm. And so we got to challenge a norm. And so my challenge for you today is to do at least one of the following things that I've chatted about today. The first tool was to challenge yourself to do something that you don't typically do. Get outside of your comfort zone. Get a workout program. Take a course that's going to level up your skills at work. Make the extra effort to bring your partner a little bit more joy every single day. Whatever it is that you want to level up within your life right now, challenge yourself to do something new. Number 2, surround yourself with someone that is better than you in whatever shape or form that looks like. Number 3, write down your goals and read them out and visualize them daily. Number 4, remind yourself always to just go. Just do it. Just get it done. Just like that. Number 5, make sure your goal is super duper clear. And 5.5, what will you need to let go of in order for you to make space for this new thing that you want in your life? I appreciate you so much for listening to this podcast today. I'm so excited to be back chatting with you. And I really hope that one of the things that I shared today sparked something within you that is going to help you get excited and motivated and really go level up your life. Because we've got a little less than 6 months left of this year, and we do not want to let them go to waste. We want to challenge our norm. We want to level up, and that's why we're here. Thank you so much for listening. If you found some sort of use in this podcast episode, I hope you want to share it with a friend that you think would find it useful as well. Or maybe if you'd be so incredibly kind to write a review and give me some stars, you have no idea how much that helped me. I would just, appreciate it so much. And also I read the reviews, and they make me so happy. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you again